But in a nutshell, what I'm suggesting is the following, that precisely your concern about this meta-narrative and the way in which it might constrain human creativity is the concern of the PSP or the Valis. What is going on is that a cosmic intelligence from a higher reference level of our computational cosmos has realized that humans within this solar system have damaged their own time continuum. That a group of humans who invented time travel, that had this technological breakthrough, broke away from other human societies. They created a breakaway civilization. And this breakaway civilization has created a hyperdimensional totalitarian system that is attempting to forge a temporal loop. It's attempting to forge something like an Ouroboros, a serpent choking on its own tail and choking off the creative potential of humanity, where you have architecture in Egypt that looks like architecture on Mars 250 million years before the present, that looks like architecture on the dark side of the moon. The people responsible for this control throughout the course of our history, these Nordic pilots of the UFOs who used the Greys as their robots, who perhaps genetically engineered the reptilians, these people are convinced that they have achieved the perfect form of human society. They are the ultimate traditionalists, capital T, the ultimate perennialists. They think that they've exhausted the possibilities for the configuration of human society and achieved, quote unquote, perfection. And I think that what this, Valis thinks about that is that humanity has reached a dead end, and that, the creative potential of our species has to somehow be liberated. And that until and unless we are able to break out of this loop, to break out of this, a boa constrictor's grip that these totalitarians have created.
Or double bind even too.
Yeah, that we ought not to be allowed into the wider cosmos, okay? So one of the other questions you have to ask in terms of the thesis that I'm putting forward is, well, why spend so much time and energy manipulating various societies on Earth? I mean, like, what is it with these overlords? Granted, they're sadists, but why be so obsessed with Earth? Why not go out and colonize the cosmos? Why not create a galactic empire? I don't think they can. I don't think we're the ones quarantined by them. This is a supposition in the close encounter research community that's often made, is that perhaps this planet is quarantined somehow, that we're inside some kind of planetary prison, that maybe like the moon is like a warden's tower of a prison planet. No. We're not the ones quarantined. They're the ones quarantined. The overlords that created us and that run our planet are the ones quarantined. And it's almost as if they created us to have us be their cellmates. In some like sick psychological sense, they want to make us companions in their captivity, because they've been boxed in by this higher cosmic intelligence, which has realized that this present form of humanity, by present I mean the form of humanity that invented time travel and that has been damaging its own time continuum, cannot be allowed into the wider cosmos that includes God knows how many different types of alien intelligences. Because this kind of humanity is fixated on a false ideal of perfection, which retards our evolutionary potential, which constrains our evolutionary potential. And so what this higher intelligence, which we see in all the trickster aspects of the close encounter phenomenon, from absurd accounts of men in black, quote unquote men in black, who are certainly not government agents in some cases, and whose behavior is as bizarre as the men in black that you find in Kafka's novel, The Trial, from these bizarre men in black to the fairies and elves that play with children, to, the bizarre occurrences on the Skinwalker Ranch that are precognitive in some way. I think that this Valis, to use Dick's terminology, and I want to disagree with Philip K. Dick to some extent, this Valis is not, as Philip K. Dick supposed, trying to rewrite history for us in a more positive way. This Valis wants us to take control of our own destiny and get out of this loop that we've been put into by these overlords. So that's basically my thesis, is that there is another layer to the close encounter phenomenon that does involve a higher cosmic intelligence. And let me add this very important point in conclusion, is that I don't think this higher cosmic intelligence is, benevolent or doing this like out of some sense of compassion for us because we've been abused by these overlords and it just feels so bad for us. No. It's doing it for its own sake. A being that functions on that level, that can manipulate variables in the cosmos fifth dimensionally, has one objective: to continue to find life interesting.
Yeah.
That being wants to be shown new and inspiring things. And humanity has a lot of potential for further creativity and innovation. But the people who first achieved the technological singularity put arbitrarily restrictive constraints on the ways in which we will use singularity level technologies. They were far too conservative in the ways in which they employed these singularity level technologies in order to construct what they falsely believed was a perfect human society, right? And a hierarchical one at that. And so what this higher cosmic intelligence wants is for the full creative potential of humanity to be liberated, not out of the goodness of its heart, but because it wants to see what we're capable of that it hasn't, conceived of yet. It wants to see what can occur to the human mind that hasn't occurred to its mind, because it wants more life. It is a negentropic force. It is a force on a cosmic level, on a fifth dimensional level, that resists cosmic entropy. That's its purpose. And so its categorical imperative is to promote maximal creativity and innovation and to remove obstacles to that. And the current form of organization of human society on this planet, that's gone back all the way to the genetic engineering of man by time travelers, is a huge obstacle to the fulfillment of the evolutionary potential of this species. And so for this species to be allowed out into the wider world and engage with all kinds of alien minds that probably would be more like an octopus than like anything human, we need to get out of this loop that we're stuck in.